Today, I just created the ultimate LEGO Star Wars Geonosian Droid factory. This model consists of over 1,500 pieces and lets you recreate some of the most iconic scenes from Star Wars Episode II Attack of the Clones. If you're interested in building this model for yourself, I do have instructions. I'll link in the description below to my website where you can purchase those. You'll get step-by-step PDF instructions as well as a full part list for easy ordering. This build was a lot of fun to make, and I really think this could truly become a centerpiece in any prequel fan's collection. This model is split really into three main sections. Right in the center we have the entranceway into the droid factory, as well as the main conveyor belt that Padme and Anakin fall onto. On the left you have the large Geonosian Droid assembly line, which C-3PO stumbles onto. And then finally on the right you have the kind of large industrial pots full of molten metal, as well as another conveyor belt. As I said, all these scenes are based specifically from Attack of the Clones, and I tried to kind of make it as accurate, as detailed as possible. This overall kind of base design in the three sections was inspired by the Temple of the Golden Idol set from 2023 from Indiana Jones, and when I kind of saw that type of layout, I thought there are so many awesome Star Wars builds that can be made in a similar layout, and in this case specifically this droid factory from Attack of the Clones. But now, let's jump right into the model. Lots of awesome cool details to take a look at. A lot of cool play features as well. So let's jump right into it. Starting off here in the center of the build, you have the actual entranceway into the droid factory. Here, of course, in Attack of the Clones is where Anakin and Padme enter the main droid factory from. And just like in the movie, you have some awesome fun play features. For one, this door here can kind of move up and down. And specifically in the movie, you know, the door shuts close, and then the bottom platform here retracts, and Padme falls onto the conveyor belt. So that was just a really fun feature. When I first started designing this build, I knew that was like kind of the critical feature I had to include. So again, a lot of fun. You just have this retractable platform here, and then the actual door, which can open and close as well. It looks really good. You got some fun, nice detailing over there on both the platform and the door. I wanted to include as much of that kind of dark orange color as I could, as I really thought that kind of looks great and really matches the Geonosian vibe. Around it, I tried to make the build as accurate as possible to what you see in the movie. So you have some nice kind of detailing with the kind of tiles and bricks, or tiles and plates on their side, and the modified bricks, and the kind of angled sections, the curved sections. I think overall it turned out great. On each side, you do have these kind of large kind of pillars here, representing some sort of kind of tanks or canisters, and you do see those as well in the movie. And then we can go ahead and see some more nice detailing and the actual main conveyor belt. Taking a look here at the main conveyor belt, this is where Padme falls onto and really has to avoid all that heavy industrial machinery. And well, here you got some fun play features. So all you got to do is take this lever and move it up and down, and the machinery can kind of move up and down and represent that kind of crushing feature of that molten metal. You have the fun 2x2 tiles in that bright light orange, representing that molten metal. And then you have some kind of fun greebling and detailing throughout. Overall, I did want to make this as much kind of industrial factory looking as possible, using, you know, as much piping and different greebling. Then in the back, you have these ski pieces, which represent the kind of railings to the actual conveyor belt, which you see throughout the movie. And finally on the bottom, you have the LEGO Star Wars 2x4 tile, as well as space for a 2x6 tile, which would be the quote tile included in the set. As we said, this is kind of like an expanded diorama set, so it has to include a quote tile. And in this case, I think the perfect quote would be C-3PO saying, "Oh my goodness, shut me down, machines making machines." So I think that's like the perfect quote and really sums up the droid factory. Now definitely stay tuned. I will actually be having custom printed tiles available on my website as well for that specific quote. I do have a lot of other ones from Hello There, High Ground, etc. already available on my website. You can check the link in the description below, but this one specifically for the droid factory will be coming soon as well. So you can take that along with your instructions. So that's really kind of the main center section. Now let's move on to the droid assembly line. Next, we have the droid assembly line. This is where C-3PO ends up stumbling onto and gets his head replaced with the battle droid head. And here we got some fun details and play features as well. Starting off on the very bottom, like you see on all the other sections, you have these fun 2x3 tiles in reddish brown, kind of to clean off the build and kind of make it look nice. And then you have some nice light detailing here. I would have wished those kind of ice cream cone pieces existed in the neon green, but they do not. So bright green is the closest I could get. For the actual conveyor belt, you have some nice, again, greebling with piping on the bottom, as well as some kind of modified bar pieces in red and green. And then the actual conveyor belt has these nice arches on the two sides. Those are again accurate to what you see. And this one specifically does have these kind of translucent neon green dish piece representing a ray shield. Here, the fun play feature is you can have the battle droids being assembled going down the assembly line. So all you got to do is move this lever here, and that moves the droid arm. So you can kind of pretend that you are assembling the battle droids. Fun little play feature made using some Technic and gears, and overall, I think this actually really brings this scene to life. On the actual conveyor belt, you got some nice detailing and once again space for about 5 battle droids, 4 plus C-3PO. And in this case, I did end up using the original 2003 Sand Red Geonosian battle droids, as I really felt they were the most accurate in terms of color to the Attack of the Clones ones. And since they aren't holding any weapons, having the two kind of same-sided arms works out fine in this case. Then once again, you could see a closer look at those droid arms, and here's a look at the play feature. So they have some fun detailing with some like wiring and different greebling, as well as a nice little flame piece over there. And then in the back, you have the ski pieces once again, and that kind of makes up this droid conveyor belt. And finally, here in the back, you have one more fun play feature for this section. So here, if you remember in the movie, once C-3PO enters the droid factory, R2-D2 pushes him off, and he falls onto this kind of large industrial droid who eventually tosses him off. So that's what this droid here represents, and specifically, he's nicely detailed with some kind of dark orange and reddish brown slopes, and overall he has the 4 arms just like in the movie, 2 holding up the industrial machinery, as well as the other 2 on the top here, which he would toss off C-3PO with. And the fun little play feature here is, this piece here are on these kind of cool modified 1x4 channel pieces, so that allows you to move him back and forth. So all you gotta do is just take him, and he can nicely move back and forth along those 1x4 bricks, kind of representing him working in the droid factory. So again, that was a lot of fun to make. The kind of overall channel piece built out, it's really smooth, doesn't really get stuck at all. A really fun little play feature there. And then you do have some nice fun piping and other greebling detailing underneath, along with those cool industrial support pieces in dark bluish gray, which I think really kind of gives this factory that industrial design. In the last section of the droid factory here on the right represents a couple cool scenes from Attack of the Clones. On the bottom, first off, you do have some more tile detailing as well as those green lights like on the other side. And then you have this main conveyor belt representing kind of where Anakin gets trapped in and eventually loses his lightsaber. So you can take Anakin, either lie him down or sit him up and just place him on the conveyor belt. You have some nice detailing with these kind of mechanical sections here, representing, I'm guessing, some sort of droid parts. And then the fun play feature here is, like in the movie, Anakin has to avoid these kind of large metal arms that kind of chop the actual machinery. So a fun play feature here, all you got to do is just move these arms up and down. They can just move up and down. So a fun little simple play feature. You can see some nice kind of detailing on these arms with some dark red bars, as well as these green lights. The actual connection point is pretty strong, so you can actually keep the kind of arm at any point you want. Fun little play feature. And then you have another one of these mechanical arms here, which can again move back and forth, and you can see some nice detailing on those mechanical arms there with the different wiring and greebling. Moving along to the back here, where the final play feature of this build lies. So this section here is representing the large industrial pots that Padme gets trapped in and eventually is freed by R2. Now, for this section, the industrial pots, I really wanted to make them such that you can actually fit a minifigure inside, but the kind of quarter and half cylinder rounded pieces that are made by Lego sadly don't exist in any shade of brown, orange, or tan. So I had to end up using these kind of modified half cylinder pieces that only have a square hole on the top. So I sadly could not actually make a figure fit inside, but I think that's all right. In this case, I did add the kind of molten lava with the kind of orange pieces, as well as some nice kind of dark orange macaroni tiles on the outside. Now here, what you can do is actually move the pots back and forth. Once again, is on that same type of channel system. And in this case, since I did include 2 pods, they can't move as much back and forth, but if you include just one, they can nicely go back and forth. But I really thought 2 just really looked nice, especially when displaying the set. There is a look at the final section. A lot of fun to make. Nice designs, those industrial pillars in the back, and lots of kind of awesome greebling on the bottom. And finally, a quick look at the back of the build. So here, again, there's not too much. You have the platform that can move back and forth. You could fit a minifigure or 2 if you wanted. If you really wanted, you could expand it and actually make those kind of Geonosian catacombs or resting places that are on the entrance. But mainly here, what I wanted to point out is you do have these 2 kind of modified bracket pieces on each side. And the point is you can actually pose your figures in a few different ways. So you can have your Geonosian on the right side or on the left, so you can just kind of flip them back and forth. And then you have a third section here to pose another figure, R2 or Jango Fett. So just a bit of nice posability there. While the back is not supposed to be seen, I still tried to make it kind of nice and clean as possible. But there's a look at my LEGO Star Wars Geonosian Droid Factory custom build. Overall, as I said, it turned out great. I had a lot of fun making it. Had to watch those Attack of the Clones scenes over like 100 times, but was able to get all those awesome little details down. If you're interested in building this and adding this to your collection, link in the description to my website where you can purchase instructions and eventually the custom printed tiles as well. But let me know what you guys thought about this build down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, a thumbs up would be great. And let me know what was your favorite section down in the comments below. But thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos coming very soon, including lots of awesome other Star Wars MOCs. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.